And a very warm welcome to you from the Amex Stadium for this commentary on 5 Sports Extra from the BBC of Brighton versus Everton. My name is John Akers, and there's a smell of sulphur in the air because the fireworks have gone off. The players are out there on the pitch. The incredibly loud PA system is blaring away in the background. They've just had the photos, or they're just about to have the photos in the centre circle. They're taking the Premier League signs off the pitch. The cameras are still circulating around the players. Everton all in black away to my right, and Brighton in their blue and white stripes to my left. Still smoke hanging in the air for this one. Alongside me for our co-commentary this afternoon is the former Norwich and Wimbledon striker, and Nigeria of course, Efan Ekoku. Good afternoon, Efan.
Good afternoon, John. Hi everybody. Yeah, it's lovely to be here. It's one of the best, it is actually one of the best small grounds to watch football in Live United because of the quality of football largely. Fans do largely get behind their team. As you mentioned already, Everton have a good away record so far this season. Great win last time out at Villa Park, the last away game. So I'm expecting a few fireworks. There's a lot of people who are a little bit negative about this game today, but I think we could be in for a really good match.
It's good John Southall's here, and we've just heard give his preview on 5 Live, and he is somewhat of a jinx.
And you call him Mr. Nil-Nil?
We do.
A little bit rude, but there we go. Let's see if we can put that to bed today.
Everyone at the club was devastated to hear of the death of Rado Vidicic on Tuesday. Rado was our women's and girls' head of coaching, and of course the father of our women's head coach, Dario. Rado's commitment to developing players and strengthening the club's footballing vision has left a lasting mark here at the Albion. There will now be a moment's applause for Rado as we send our love and thoughts to Dario and his family at this difficult time.
Players sprint away to their opposite ends, and it's a good atmosphere inside the ground. I've got to say, Efan Ekoku alongside me. You saw the Bournemouth game here, which was a decent game, didn't you? I was treated to the Sunderland game, which wasn't, but let's hope that we get a decent game this afternoon.
Yeah, I thought that was a great 90 minutes plus of football from both sides. A draw, I think, was a fair result. Anything like that today, I'll be satisfied.
Away we go. Brighton have the kick-off. They're kicking from left to right as we look at it, and they've knocked it all the way back to Verbruggen, who's all in a luminous orange. The yellow ball across the turf to Van Hecke, who looks up and plays the ball towards Welbeck, but it's intercepted by Keane, who is back in the side for Everton after that 3-match ban. And we're going to wait to see whether they're playing 4 centre-backs or whether it looks like wing-backs. That's a nice little reverse pass, and Tarkowski's got in a bit of a mess there for Everton. He's got it to Njai, and now will clear left-footed through Keane high towards the halfway line, and Brighton have possession. Efan.
Yeah, just a little bit lucky that pass was under hit by Jorginho Rutter to Danny Welbeck on the left side of the Everton defence. Michael Keane just went to ground and scrambled well to clear it.
Brighton in deep possession in their own half with Verbruggen in goal, Kadioglu a right back, Van Hecke, Dunk and De Kuyper, Ayari, Baliba and Gross, and then Rutter, Welbeck through the middle, and Cairo Mitoma. That is the Brighton lineup, who are in possession midway inside their own half with Van Hecke. Jordan Pickford in goal for Everton with O'Brien, Keane, Tarkowski and Branthwaite. 4 centre-backs across the back. It's like the days of Tony Pulis and Stoke City. And then James Garner and Idrissa Gueye in front with Harrison and Jai. Dewsbury Hall in the 10, and then Tierno Barry, who's in form up front as Brighton come forward down the left-hand side. That's a good touch. They might fancy an effort at goal here through Mitoma. Cross into the box early and almost an own goal from, I think it might have been Keane or Tarkowski. Just going to have a look at the replay. But that wasn't far away, 2 feet wide of the keeper's left-hand post, Efenakoku.
Yeah, they'd actually worked it pretty well from left to right, did Brighton. The Yari could have actually taken a shot just as he's central, just outside the D on the edge of the box. And the cross came in from Cardiago. Not a great cross actually, but 1 or 2 deflections, and Gross didn't quite get a clean connection just on the 6-yard line.
Corner then for Brighton on the right-hand side. 2 minutes of the game gone. No goals. 5 Sports Extra. Right arm in the air as this is swept in, left-footed to the far post, headed away by Everton. Back there was De Kuyper. With the corner, and it's back in from Brighton, and a chance here. Back heel save, Pickford. Wow, Danny Welbeck almost scored a very, very cheeky goal, and there is a bit of pushing and shoving that's broken out in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it was a lovely cross from the far side of the box as he was headed out by Everton. Karim Matoma, I thought he was going to cut back onto his right foot. He did. He just crosses it, a super ball towards the far post. Danny Welbeck rose almost unchallenged. Be disappointed actually. Tried to angle the header back across the face of Pickford. He didn't manage that. And then he's got his back to goal, and just with a flicker, back heel flick, he doesn't quite get a clean connection.
And then Van Hecker, just watching the replay here, he smashes into Pickford, a bit unnecessarily when Pickford's got control of the ball, and it is a free kick for Everton, and that's why Pickford jumped to his feet, and there was a bit of pushing and shoving following that chance. It would have been some finish from Danny Welbeck, who rose for the header, as Effin said, and then it bounced in the 6-yard box, and he tried a little back heel. Brighton in possession with their goalkeeper. Mr. Kuyper knocks it back to Verbruggen.
Yeah, with the 4 centre-backs that Everton have on show today, John, it'd be interesting to see whether Brighton can actually exploit Jared Branthwaite on this near side. He'd be minded to probably try and push in a little bit, used to that protection and proximity to a centre-half. They don't have a natural winger, of course, Brighton, on this near side, on the right side, so I imagine most of the width will actually come from Kadioglu.
Well, he's been out for a long time, hasn't he, Jared Branthwaite? First Premier League start for 8 months, did his hamstring, was a nasty tear in pre-season, had to have a surgery, and this is his first start since he did that. So it'd be interesting to see how long they give him and how much confidence he's got in it to sprint on it.
Yeah, they erred on the side of court, and I actually spoke to somebody in his camp a few days ago, and when he was torn, they gave him the option and said, well, if we leave it, there's a 50-50 chance that it will re-tear again, and if we don't, and we do you have the operation, there's a 95% chance that you'll be fine. So they took the operation, longer, but hopefully a better result long term.
As Brighton are in possession with Verbruggen again, and they'll try and play out from the back. It's with Lewis Dunk. 0-0. Everton won the reverse of this, 2-0 earlier in the season, looking to do their first double over Brighton since 1981. But Brighton have been decent here. The ball still with Verbruggen, who's been forced to go long. And has he found a target? Diving header forward from De Kuyper, but it's intercepted, and Everton have possession in the centre of midfield. And now here is Branthwaite for his first touch of the ball in the game, and he brings it over the halfway line. Gives it to Njai, who's got a one-on-one here, tries to go inside. It's good covering back there from Baliba, and he's lost his boot, Njai, and says, how's that not a foul? But it's a goal kick for Brighton, and they take it quickly.
Yeah, it looked like it should have been an Everton corner. Well, he's just got to put his boot back on, hasn't he? He's waiting for the referee to stop the game so he can replace the boot, but I don't think that is required, is it?
No, I've not seen it before, but he's still running with his boot in his hand at the moment. Iliman Njai with his white sock, he's staring at his boot, he's undone the laces, it's still in his hand. Iliman Njai, and forward come Brighton with the ball in towards the edge of the D, which is intercepted, and Everton will bring it clear, and Njai still carrying his boot. He might get a touch here, Njai. And now the ball is out, and the referee is saying, please, Njai is saying to the referee, please let me put my boot back on.
He's got to go to ground, preferably in the opponent's half, so he doesn't play anybody onside in his own half.
It's a long time to carry your boot, that. I don't think I've seen a player carry their boot for that long in a game. It was like a full minute. He's got it back on now. Now he's got to do his laces because he undid them all. If it's anything like trying to get a sock boot on my son when he was about 8 or 9, he could not do. We were in that shop for about half an hour with the assistant trying to get the boot back on, or trying to get it on at all. Really wanted sock boots when they came out, and he's still tying his shoelace, and the referee said, I'm not having it, play on. So he's still tying his shoelace, and Pickford's got the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Everton come forward. Now he's done it. That's full 2 minutes that to put your boot back on. And Everton play long towards Tieno Barry. His first touch is heavy, and it's a goal kick for Brighton.
Yeah, nice ball actually from the back by James Tarkowski. Pretty much a straight ball as Tieno Barry's making that run towards the corner of the Brighton box. Done better to control that. David Moyes will be looking for another happy away day for the Toffees. Be pleased with the way his side have coped with matches on their travel so far this campaign.
Yeah, won 5 of their last 6, Everton, away from home. Including the last couple. Some clean sheets in there as well, plenty of clean sheets. Jack Grealish being missing, of course, is a blow. That was his quote in the build-up, but the defensive foundation is there with returning players, was what David Moyes said before the game, as Brighton are in possession, 10 yards inside the Everton half, centre field. And it's with Ayari. Ayari gets the ball out to the left-hand side. Mitoma is looking to run forward. Ball's played, a big switch to the right-hand side. Cushioned header from Kadioglu. And it's offside against Kadioglu. And it will be a free kick for Everton. Yeah, 5 wins away from home this season. 5 of the last 6 away clean sheets.
That's impressive.
For Everton. It just takes some doing, doesn't it? What do you make of the 4 centre-backs, though, Effin? It's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's been forced upon him, hasn't it? Now, obviously, Mikolenko is a recognised left-back, so while he's out, then you have to make those adjustments. If you don't have another specialist full-back, then of course, sometimes you have a young kid who's making or training with the first team, but you don't feel he's quite ready. So you play that little bit, or you decide to be more cautious. So you wouldn't blame David Moyes for doing that, even if he had 1 or 2 established, 1 or 2 younger kids available from the academy. It's a massive step up, isn't it, to perform on this stage. So Branthwaite, pure left footer, should be able to cope.
In possession now, Branthwaite, midway inside the Brighton half. On the left-hand side, it's put out to James Garner. Nice build-up this from Everton, and Jai with dancing feet back to goal, still in possession. 2 boots on his feet. And now it's with Gay, running from left to right. And they've got the ball on the right-hand side now, Everton. So patient, slow build-up. It's the best little passage from them of the game so far. Everyone apart from Pickford in the Brighton half. And here's Keane, 3 matches out, bit of a rest after that red card, and he's in possession 10 yards inside the Everton half, and it's 0-0, 5 Sports Extra, 9 minutes gone. Pickford way out of his goal.
Well, he's almost on the halfway line, Jordan Pickford.
He's on the edge of the D, and he's looking for a pass, and he's been given all the time in the world. And there's a big long crossfield ball and a header one, and can they pick up the pieces here? Everton, player goes down, but it's a foul against, you can't believe it, up there, Harrison Armstrong, but the referee is Christopher Kavanagh, who gives the free kick Brighton's way, and they take it quickly, and Van Hecker is in possession. Good record here, just 1 defeat in 11 at the Amex for Brighton. They've got a problem with slow starting, and Fabian Herzler addressed that in his pre-match press conference, said we need to be awake from the first whistle. Well, they're asleep there and they've lost possession. Here's Gay for Everton, midway inside the half, and Jai in the penalty area. He's running at the back 4, and now a ball across the area, across the 6-yard box, almost finds Barry, and running it out of his own half is out of his own penalty area, I should say, is Baliba, who is fouled, and it's a free kick to Brighton. Yeah,
nice and cool from Carlos Baliba. Iliman Jai was trying to get to the byline to cut one back. He was already inside the Everton box. It was a sideways pack across, and Baliba just comes across almost right in front of his goalkeeper, facing Bart Verbruggen. Coolly takes it around a couple of his own teammates and relieves the pressure. He came on against Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago, as did Yassir and Kumo Minte. They really injected some energy and creativity on the right side. Minte was fantastic. Yeah. So I can understand why Fabian Herbst is talking about slow starts, but they started well that day against Bournemouth, actually. Just once Bournemouth got the goal, took charge of the game. A draw was a fair result in the end. So the form has been patchy in terms of putting together 50-60 minutes of real top-class football.
conceded 55% of goals in the first half this season, Brighton, and trailed at half-time 12 times. That's what he was referring to, Hertzler, in his pre-match press conference, as Van Hecke is in possession. Gives it to Lewis Dunk, who's chased by Tierno Barry. And now here is Ruter. Ruter bringing it forward. That's a nice little piece of skill. He's midway inside the Everton half. Nice little ball in low. He's got an overlapping run here as well, and it's Kadioglu with a chance to cross. Checks, puts it in now, and here's a strike from Ruter, but he's sliced it wide with his left foot. That's the first shot of the game, and it's a goal kick for Everton.
Yeah, it's a half chance really. It was a nice cut back, measured across, actually right on the edge of the box on the angle from Ferdi Kadioglu. And there's Jorginho Ruta just inside the Everton box. And he's a good 15-16 yards out, just cuts across the ball with his left foot, and it's wide of Jordan Pickford's right post.
If you're looking for the game between Leeds and Arsenal, by the way, it is over on 5 Live, as Pickford's kick almost goes out of play, but it's kept in, and Everton are in possession midway inside their own half. There's a challenge that goes in from Mitoma, and it is a Brighton throw. It just took a nick off the Everton defender, who can't believe it, running back towards his own goal line. There, O'Brien, and Brighton have possession 5 yards inside the Everton half. Leeds 0, Arsenal 0, Brighton 0, Everton 0 here, and Wolves 0, Bournemouth 0 in the other 3 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League. Earlier, Charlton won 2-0 at Leicester. Leicester were down to 10 very early in that game, as Brighton have a throw on the far side, halfway line. Southampton won 2-0 at Stoke earlier as well. No goals in the Championship so far. Bolton won at Wimbledon a little earlier, as Brighton in possession on the halfway line. Bradford won 1-0 at home to Doncaster. And Burton are 1-0 up against Cardiff, which would be a surprise result in League One. Port Vale, the bottom side, 1-0 up at Leyton Orient, as here is Ruter. He's found a little pocket of space. He's running at the Everton backline. Nice little pass. Van Hecke on the overlap. Little ball in towards Welbeck. He can't control it, and it's cleared away by Everton, and Njai picks it up midway inside his own half on the left, and he's battling for the ball, but it's a good press from Brighton, and they've won the ball back, and they're in possession with Carlos Baliba and now Dunk.
Nice injection of pace actually from the centre back, from Jean-Paul Van Hecke on this right side in front of the dugouts. Linked up well, and then Danny Welbeck ran into his space. If he'd left the centre back to actually occupy that room, then Welbeck would have been in a better position to actually receive the cross that was played into him in the end.
Kadioglu plays it back to Baliba. Brighton with some good build-up play here. They've got a little bit of space on the left-hand side and chance to cross, and in it comes. And it's nicked off the head of Ruter by Branthwaite, and it's behind for a corner to Brighton.
Yeah, the only way that Jorginho Ruter is going to beat Jared Branthwaite then is if he actually comes across him. He's waiting right on the outside of the Everton left-back, and at 6'3", Branthwaite is going to win about 98% of those crosses that come in. You've really got to gamble. You can nip in front of the Everton defender there.
Corner for Brighton, going to be taken by De Kuyper with his left foot. Plenty of Brighton bodies in the box. Everyone back for Everton. In it comes, left-footed into the middle, and a header wide from Danny Welbeck, who can't believe it. It's to about 3 or 4 feet wide of Pickford's right-hand post, who stands with his hands on his hips as if to say, how's he got that header there from the edge of the 6-yard box? Yeah,
that was a missed chance. Danny Welbeck, lovely ball in, actually, wasn't it, from the set piece. De Kuyper with the corner in, and Danny Welbeck is he's actually 5 yards out from goal. He gets a little bit too close to James Tarkowski, and the ball glances off his head. That's a good chance, missed.
Yeah, he reacted like someone who just missed a very good chance. There, Danny Welbeck. 5 Sports Extra from the BBC, and Brighton very much on top at the moment. And coming down the left-hand side now with Mitoma, who's got a one-on-one against O'Brien here. He's going to the byline. Mitoma challenged, and goal kick. Mitoma felt sure that had come off O'Brien last. He can't believe it as he runs towards the referee with his arms outstretched, and we'll watch the replay to see if he was right.
Hard to tell, isn't it?
Hard to tell. Yeah. They kind of went for the ball at the same time, didn't they?
If in doubt, give it to the defensive side.
That's what he did, Chris Kavanagh. And Brighton got a player off the pitch at the moment, but he's back on over there, Welbeck. And Brighton are in possession with Verbruggen as the ball's gone all the way back. In League 2, Bristol Rovers beat Newport in the battle near the bottom 3-0 earlier, and Grimsby drew 2-2 with MK Dons. And there's been a few goals in League 2. Accrington are leading against Cheltenham. Chesterfield are beating Walsall 1-0 as Matoma runs forward and gives the ball inside for Pascal Gross, back at the club, of course, after a couple of seasons, or a season and a half at Dortmund.
Yeah, almost feels like he was never away, doesn't it, Pascal Gross?
Yeah. So we're in the 30 rather than 13 these days.
Tricked a few plays with that little drag back of his, a Cruyff turn on the edge of the box, usually opposing boxes.
14 assists in his first season with Dortmund, which is quite something. As Dunk's in possession on the edge of the area for Brighton, and back to Verbruggen, and they play out now through the blonde-haired Van Hecker. Ball forward is intercepted by Branthwaite, and Jai can't pick it up, and now Branthwaite's out of position, and away goes Rutter, who switched to the right-hand side. Forward he comes, but he just showed a little bit too much of it there to Michael Keane, and Branthwaite will clear via a deflection, ball looping and spinning towards halfway, and Dewsbury Hall has given it away to Welbeck, and now here's Cairo Matoma. He's 25 yards from goal. Little 1-2. This is lovely. Matoma wide. Oh, wow. It's a great move from Brighton. Just needed the finishing touches from Matoma on his left foot. Tried a little dink and he dragged it wide.
He was stretching, John, right at the last moment. Lovely link-up play. 10 yards outside the box. Welbeck squares it up to Matoma, who flicks the ball back to him right on the edge of the other box. The Japanese international sprints in, bursts into the box, doesn't he? That touch, it's not a bad one actually, it's not actually not too far away from him, but he's almost falling over just the right side of Jordan Pickford's post, who comes out, the England goalie, spreads himself enough and Mitoma's side foots it over the keeper, but unfortunately wide of the post. Lovely link-up play, best move of the match.
Yeah, very, very good play, and Brighton looking the better team at the moment for sure, as Welbeck is in possession, but again Keane is there, and it's a free kick, even though they've got possession. Tarkowski goes down and is talking to the referee and to Danny Welbeck, and is looking at his boot at the moment, maybe just got trodden on, and it's a free kick for Everton rather, about 15 yards inside their own half.
Yeah, two old boys discussing what the problem is,
having a laugh and a joke.
Yeah,
he's a nice fella, Tarkowski and Danny Welbeck, both nice guys. When you interview them after matches, both shake your hand and look you in the eye and pleasant, and maybe I've just interviewed them after wins, I don't know, but they were both been really good in interviews afterwards, the pair of them. I think I was there for Danny Welbeck's first league goal actually against Stoke City. I think it was about 2008, something like that, scored from miles out. It was a brilliant goal.
Yeah, the players usually handle the media a lot better the older they get. It just becomes second nature to them.
And he's had some season, 9 goals in all competitions, 8 goals this season, Danny Welbeck, and he just keeps going, doesn't he? Still looks a threat, still a handful.
Yeah, it's not just the goals actually, John, it's the influencer, and I'm sure around the training ground every day, in match days as well, the ability to help the younger players, remembering what it was like when he first came through the grade at Manchester United. And if you're fit and still scoring as he is, then you don't write players off these days in a 33 to 35. Even then, they've still got a couple of good years left if they've looked after themselves well enough.
Bromley are 2-0 up at Gillingham. Swindon are drawing 1-1 with Barrow. That's in League 2. And goalless in all of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League. Middlesbrough have taken the lead at home to Norwich, and Sheffield United are 1-0 up at Millwall, and Portsmouth have taken the lead at home to West Bromwich Albion, and Reading are 2-0 up in League 1 at Northampton. And Burton still leading Cardiff by a goal to 0. Here it's 0-0. We have seen some good play from Brighton. And there's a crossfield ball from Everton. Is that overhit, or is it going to be kept in? Kept in and pulled back. It's a good effort that to keep it in play on the right hand side from Armstrong. And now here's Njai, who's got Branthwaite with him. There are 3 in the middle here waiting for a cross for Everton, all in black. Here's Gay, plays it inside to Dewsbury Hall.
His first couple of touches, well, that I can recall actually, in Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, he's been out a while, isn't he? 13th of December. He picked up an injury and was a substitute last week, and his first start since the 13th of December. Again, a hamstring. A lot of those when it gets cold, winter. Effin, you've done your hamstring a couple of times, you were telling me before.
Too many times, yeah.
Here's Njai for Everton, left-hand side. Well, that's a nice drop of the shoulder from Njai, and it's a good little run, and he squares it. It's a nice play to Dewsbury Hall. Good first touch, and Gay. And this is nice from Everton now, but they have been forced to go backwards. O'Brien into the feet of Tarkowski on the halfway line, and Keane is with them, and Brighton have done well here. Brighton have done really well to just not give Everton any room, and they've got possession of the ball with Van Hecker, who's going to switch the play. I think he's overhit that though, and it's going to go all the way out for a goal kick to Everton right by the corner flag, and Jordan Pickford, all in lime green, sprints across to take it. As a crow flies over. Grey day here, there's a little bit of blue sky through the clouds, just a sliver, and you can see the forest in the background as they're moaning at Everton for not taking this free kick quickly enough here. The browns and the greens, and Tarkowski clears right-footed down the line for Everton, and it's cushioned forward nicely by Mitoma. They try a 1-2 there, but he can't collect it, and now Everton might well break, and Njai's got some space. Here goes Iliman Njai towards the edge of the penalty area for Everton. Step over, thinks about a hit. Great defending from Kuiper. That is top-class defending, and it's a goal kick for Brighton.
It was, absolutely. The Kuiper didn't get too close to Iliman Njai to begin with, allowed him to try a little trick, a step over, and didn't fall for it at all. And Njai never really got the ball out of his feet properly, just as he drifts inside the box, trying to get towards that 6-yard box. The Kuiper does superbly well. Shoulder to shoulder, nice and strong. He looks a capable defender, doesn't he, either right or left side.
Did brilliantly there, didn't he? What a fantastic piece of defending as Birmingham take the lead at Oxford United, and now Chesterfield are 2-0 up against Walsall, and Lincoln have taken the lead at Wigan. It's 1-0 there. Here's De Kuiper again, plays it inside to Gross, 30 yards from goal, plays in Mitoma, corner of the penalty area. Mitoma, nice run this, onto his left foot, but crowded out, and it will dribble through to Pickford, and the game's just picked up a little bit.
Yeah, he'd beaten him, Kaoru Mitoma. O'Brien got close, feinted with shooting with the right foot, back on his left, but didn't give himself enough space as he got to that 6-yard box, and then tried the cross, but blocked out easily. If Everton are going to get anything from this game, it's going to, you would imagine, come from the left side. Iliman Njai is the man that are going to have to try and feed on the far side. They haven't got really the quality going forward to be able to hurt Brighton, you would imagine, unless there's a defensive lapse.
Van Hecker just got a little arm in the face there, I think, as he went up for the header within Njai, and he went to ground, and he's still feeling his jaw. The referee just told him to get up.
But if Kadioglu defends Njai as well as he has done in the opening minutes so far, then Everton are going to find it extremely difficult to fashion openings from open play. Set pieces, of course, always a way to break teams down. There's big boys at the back, centre halves will fancy one or two corners to attack.
Yeah, sorry, it was Kadioglu with the defending, wasn't it, a little bit earlier on, and not Kuiper for Brighton. Branthwaite in possession. Barry, little ball round the corner. Can Njai get hold of this? Van Hecker comes across, good pace, and sort of slides, and it maybe hits him on the arm as well. He collects the ball anyway, and it's gone out for a throw-in to Everton on the left-hand side. 0-0, 25 minutes gone, and Portsmouth are 2-0 up in the Championship at home to West Brom.
Oh, that's a relegation battle there, isn't it?
They are struggling, aren't they, West Brom?
Couldn't believe the table when I looked at it this morning. See them, what, 5th from bottom, I think? Yeah. Portsmouth, what, 4th bottom? So, something like that. They're pretty much neighbours anyway.
Throw in for Everton, flicks up in the air. De Kuiper's got some defending to do, clears the ball away. Tarkowski picks it up. And Everton are in possession on the right-hand side by the right-hand touchline. Back to Tarkowski. It goes 5 yards inside the Brighton half, and they'll switch it to Keane, and they'll try the left-hand side again with Dewsbury Hall. Tries to go round his man, round Welbeck, but Welbeck gets a toe to it. Ball ricochets back to Everton though, and Gay slides it across the turf to Tarkowski. He's going to dink one forward, looking for Barry here, who wins the header but doesn't They don't collect the second ball there through Armstrong, and Brighton win it with Gross in midfield, and then a sliding challenge from Mitoma on O'Brien, and Brighton have possession, and it's still 0-0. And the ball's all the way back with Verbruggen. Brighton winless in their last 5 home league games against Everton since a 3-2 victory in October 2019. Everton have actually won 3 of the last 5 here, so in general do pretty well. The other 2 of course being draws. Kadioglu in possession, and now it's with Ruter wearing the number 10. Socks down low, tiny shin pads, little dink cross, poor cross as Effin said there. Oh, and there's a slip from Van Hecker, and Dewsbury Hall's got it on the left hand side, slides it down the touchline towards Njai, and he's got the pace to collect it. He's got Barry square, and he tried to release it early, and it's ricocheted off Dunk, and it's out for an Everton throw.
I think he made a mistake there, John. He's got one-on-one close to this near touchline with the captain Lewis Dunk. There was an opportunity to try and take on the big centre half.
Leeds have taken the lead at Leeds. Sorry, Arsenal have taken the lead at Leeds, and Zubamendi has scored with a header there for Arsenal. I would guess that was a set piece. It being Arsenal and Zubamendi.
I think quite a lot of unfair criticism being levelled at Arsenal.
Ball into the box.
Number of set pieces they've scored recently.
Well, I think I used to commentate on Stoke City every week, and they did loads of work on shape and loads of work on set pieces, long throws, as you did with Wimbledon back in the day.
As I did with Tony Pulis when I was at Bournemouth. We did a lot of that 3-4 times.
I forgot you were there with Tony. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it, and a lot of the big clubs, employing free kick specialists, throw-in specialists. So because Arsenal are performing better than anybody else in that department, it seems as if there's a lot of football jealousy in that regard. All I would say is do better with your own.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for it, and they're proof of that. Arsenal as Brighton are in possession on the halfway line with Ruter twisting, turning, Gay fouls Ruter.
The thing is, John, about that, just a final word in that, it's actually nothing special that the Arsenal players do at all. They're just more determined than opposing players, that's all. Simple. Get the ball in the box, as close to the goalkeeper 6-yard box as you can, and how hungry are you to win the header? If you are, there's a good chance you score. If you're not, you won't. Nothing scientific or special what Arsenal are doing.
It's interesting. That's the voice of Effin Okoku on 5 Sports Extra from the BBC. Do you know what? It's half an hour in. I'm going to mention the 4 goals against Everton.
Oh, if you must, you might as well.
First Premier League player to score 4 goals away from home, was it?
Yeah, Norwich Everton, September I think, 93. So yeah, I mean that's a long time, 32 years, nearly 33 soon.
It doesn't feel that long ago. It really doesn't, does it to you?
It does when I'm trying to go for a run.
Everton in possession, they roll it back to Pickford, who's going to launch it left-footed, or at least he's shaped to, and then he plays a lovely little dink ball. He's a good footballer, Jordan Pickford, isn't he? And he
great delivery.
Yeah, super. Yeah. And he dinks it to O'Brien, who then volleys it down the line, and Dunk comes across. And the ball's in the air at the moment, but now it's down on the deck with Mitoma. And Brighton have some possession with Dunk and some nice football as they recover possession of the ball, and they go and try and nick it in midfield with Garner. And Everton will clear left-footed through Keane, high, spinning, sliced.
Game's gone a little bit scrappy, isn't it?
Yeah, comes off Dewsbury Hall. Ball's been in the air a lot for the last couple of minutes. And Brighton have a throw on the halfway line on the right-hand side. Some scores from elsewhere. Crawley are beating Harrogate Town 1-0. Bromley are 3-0 up now at Gillingham. And Huddersfield in League One have taken the lead at Peterborough United. And Rotherham are ahead at St James's Park against Exeter City. And Everton in possession with Njai, who does look the real threat out there. Him and Mitoma so far look threats in wide areas, and that's a ball from Garner into the feet of Barry, and then Dewsbury Hall, and challenged, and Everton keep possession, but Mitoma's really working hard there in the press to try and win it back, and has forced Everton back all the way to Pickford, who drills a low spinning wonderful pass again into the chest of Branthwaite, brings it down, and then Njai tries a ball inside left-footed towards Dewsbury Hall, and it doesn't come off, and Brighton clear And can they keep this in through Rutte? He's done really well. Rutte is at the byline, right-hand side, comes off Keane, corner.
Yeah, he'd almost actually given that ball up, that long diagonal crossfield pass to him from Lewis Dunk, I think it was. He seemed to have given up, and then he slides, just keeps it in on this near touch line and tries to slide it through the legs of Michael Keane. Unsuccessful, but they do have a corner on this near side.
It's going to be De Kuiper who's going to come across again. He's taking his time because he's having to come from left back to take corners, obviously, from the right-hand side for the in-swinger. And again, Everton have got everyone back inside the penalty area for this one. Dunk's obviously the main threat for Everton. Dunk and Welbeck. Welbeck's already gone close from one of these from 5 yards out. In comes the corner, high to the far post, and it comes off a Everton head and then comes off, I think it was Belieber at the far post, and it's going to be a goal kick for Everton.
Yeah, Rutte was pretty close to Jared Branthwaite, it seems. Just inside, just beyond that right post of Jordan Pickford. A little bit too close to actually get the header, and then so was Belieber, wasn't able to make a clean connection.
Here are Brighton with Welbeck, but he's wrestled to the ground by Tarkowski, who wins the ball, and now there's a foul, I think, on Garner from Welbeck. It's a free kick to Everton, deep in their own half.
Yeah, I think the referee's got that right. No complaints really from Danny Welbeck. Trying to win the ball back high up. The ball was played into him on the edge of the box. He tried just to flick it through the legs of James Tarkowski. It is back to goal and deceive the defender that way. Yeah, just seeing the replay again. Yeah, Welbeck misses the ball, but certainly catches James Garner.
Bournemouth are ahead at Wolves, and it's Junior Krupi who has scored the goal there. After Mane had one ruled out in the 7th minute for Wolves, and Pickford launches the free kick high, and it's flicked up in the air by O'Brien, and Dunk's got a big piece of Barry's shirt here, but he has actually managed to come up with possession and given it away, and Gross has got possession, and Brighton will chip a ball infield, and it was aimless, and it's been given away, and Njai picks up possession. He hasn't got much help at the moment. He's had to go back to Branthwaite, 10 yards inside the Brighton half, left-hand side. Gay now slides it into the feet of Armstrong, who goes to the right to O'Brien, and now a little ball to Gay, and he's got some space, chance to cross, right-hand side, in it comes. Barry Rose for the header, headed up in the air by Brighton, who should clear here through Belieber and Mitoma, and Belieber again. It's a nice 1-2 and a crossfield ball towards Welbeck, but well done Michael Keane, and now it's back with Pickford.
Yeah, half a breakaway, wasn't it? Actually, nicely played from Collins. Belieber on that far side, hooked the ball inside. Seems as if it was a risky pass, but he got the return delivery then. He was almost running out of steam, and support on the far side, hooked it back in towards the middle, but one of his teammates there, Jordan Pickford, is taking a big risk, isn't he? Coming out to play some of those balls close to his back four, some 35-40 yards from goal, and he got to miss kick one, which, to be fair to him, he almost never does.
Mark Scott, who's doing the Match of the Day commentary, and I have just shot each other a look, as if to say, this could be 0-0, but let's not jinx it. We're going to stay positive. We're going to manifest a 3-3 thriller, but all goals coming in the second half. 10 minutes to the break, 0-0. In comes a cross, headed up in the air by O'Brien. O'Brien in the right back position, clears right-footed, high, long towards Barry, who can't pick up possession this time, but it looked like a handball, was it, I think, as he collected the ball there from Garner.
Yeah,
and it's a free kick.
Yeah, as that ball is played out from his defenders, Tino Barry. I know you always have to have an eye on the defender where he is in terms of how you position yourself, but priority has got to be getting to the ball first, and then you can turn your body and back into the defender at the last moment. At the moment, he's almost too interested in trying to fight with Lewis Dunk as opposed to thinking about the football.
Gross, centre field for Brighton, inside the Everton half. Now Rutter. Out on the right-hand side is Kadioglu. Corner of the penalty area. Going away from goal, Van Hecke tries to take it around Njai, and it comes off Njai's shins, and it goes out for a throw-in to Brighton, level the 18-yard box on the right-hand side. 0-0. Brighton-Everton, 5 Sports Extra. Arsenal 1-0 up at Leeds. Zubamendi from Ahmad Weke assist. It was a header, and Bournemouth 1-0 up as the ball comes into the Everton penalty area and is slapped away side-footed by Tarkowski. And Van Hecke, with the outside of his boot, shuffles it back to Verbruggen, and ironic shouts of handball everywhere because of the Ghana handball a little bit earlier on, and Brighton will slowly build. And elsewhere, Barnsley have got a second at home to Stevenage.
Brighton are always a better watch when there's a little bit more zip in their game. I know they like to be measured. It's the way that modern coaches approach things, and you want to translate your training ground routines, practice into match day, of course. But when all of a sudden there's reasons for you to step on the accelerator, I think you go with it for as long as you can until the opposition take control again. Seen a fair bit of the ball on the right side as they do again with Ruter, but no penetration really. This game is crying out for Yankuba Minte. Not too long back from injury, but he's been pretty good when he's appeared as a sub in recent weeks.
Yeah, made a real impact, didn't he, last week for Brighton, as the ball's out for a goal kick to Everton. There's like a murmur around the ground at the moment. We've had a few moments in the first half, but in general it has lacked excitement, as Pickford gets his kick wrong and then turns back towards his own goal in frustration and waves his right arm up in the air and has a word with himself. And Brighton are in possession on the left-hand touchline, 15 yards inside the Everton half, and they go back to Lewis Dunk. And a couple of goals have gone in. Arsenal have taken a 2-0 lead now at Leeds, and Stevenage have got one back away at Barnsley. It's 2-1. It was a Carl Darlow own goal for Arsenal, the second one. So Leeds 0, Arsenal 2, and that game is over on BBC Radio 5 Live. That's a good stretching challenge from Branthwaite, and he gets it to Barry, who's off on the run. But good play from Carlos Baliba, and now Van Hecke will tidy up back to Verbruggen, who plays the ball through the middle of the pitch to Ayari. Risky, but it's come off, and Brighton are in possession with Ayari again, who dinks a little ball through towards Ruter, and Welbeck wasn't quite on the same page. Played an early little reverse pass, and Welbeck was making a different run, and Van Hecke comes across, diving header, heads it out of play, and ends up sitting on the blue artificial grass at the edge of the pitch right in front of David Moyes, who stands with his hands on his hips, his black tracksuit bottoms and his blue long coat, and Fabian Herzl there in his white trainers, tight tracksuit bottoms and long black coat, gloves. It's not that cold though today, really. It's there's no real wind to speak of here as a seagull circles overhead, and it's still 0-0 between Brighton and Everton as Dunk goes back to his goalkeeper Verbruggen. Notts County have taken the lead at Fleetwood in League 2, and Kadioglu plays the ball inside towards Welbeck. A little slip there from Garner, but he does manage to find a teammate in Armstrong. But his ball forward towards Barry is intercepted, and Brighton put the ball out of play with a poor pass on the far side.
Yeah, sloppy passing. Been guilty of that on a few occasions so far this first half. The home players.
5 minutes to half-time. I think we need half-time. And the players too. You need to get a new job, linesman, as the shout from behind us.
Yeah, football fans, they've got a word or two for every occasion.
Kadioglu on halfway into Ruter, who's looked sharp. Matoma's made a good run. Here's the Kuiper, left hand side, puts in a dink little cross. It's a good looking cross towards Welbeck and nicked off his head and behind for a corner, and they needed it too. I think it was Tarkowski.
No, I think it was Jared Branthwaite.
It was
actually, John. Yeah, right at the far. He tucked in well, got close. As I said, it would be easy for him to tuck in close to one of the central defenders when they're in trouble. He's never too wide to start with as the cross comes in 10 yards outside the Everton box, angled towards out the corner of the 6-yard box, and Welbeck was waiting, but there's Branthwaite to deny him. Another good headed clearance.
Millwall have equalised against Sheffield United. It's 1-1, and it's a corner for Brighton on the right with the Kuiper again. who's going to cross left-footed. They've had a few of these now from this side. Right arm goes in the air. Most of these have gone to the far post so far, and this one is dinked into the area and headed off. It's a foul. I think Pickford's gone down and the referee spotted a push, and it's a free kick to Everton, and we've got 4 minutes to the break, and it's 0-0.
Yeah, so many bodies in front of Jordan Pickford. This one was a little bit softer in the delivery. Yeah, that is right in the mixer, as they say, and Van Hecke is leaning into Jordan Pickford. Yeah, once you put the arm around the goalkeeper like that, and have a little tug of the shirt, and then Jordan Pickford, actually being experienced, he actually grabs the hand of Jean-Paul Van Hecke. Always going to get the free kick called in your favour.
He's got the most Premier League appearances, I think, out there, Jordan Pickford. Close between him and Welbeck. There's here are Everton on the right with Keenan Dewsbury-Hall. He's got to the byline, in comes a cross, cleared away by Brighton. Only as far though as another Everton player who whips in a cross. It's Armstrong, and it's Garner rather, and he's stretching at the far post Barry, and it's behind for a goal kick. And just when you need that real quality, they've just lacked it.
Yeah, there's a good chance to put in a much better ball. Just seen the replay again. Keenan Dewsbury-Hall gets to the goal line, cuts it back, but Lewis Dunk always in a great position to defend on that 6-yard box line. And there's Garner, I think, with a cross, was it? Yeah, a little bit too way too pacey for Tino Barry from right to left. Flashed across the Frenchman. Couldn't do anything with that.
In League One, Plymouth have taken the lead at Stockport County. They lead 1-0.
You sound quite pleased about that, John.
Oh, no, complete neutral all the way here, Effin.
Was that a fist pump right in front of my face?
It might have been. It might have been. You're not a Stockport fan, are you? No. Who's your team, Effin? Have you got one?
I'm Manchester born, but not Stockport. No. I'm a Liverpool fan.
Yeah. You go to school in Liverpool?
I did, yeah. I was raised in Liverpool, so the Reds are there for me.
But we are, of course, impartial here on BBC 5 Live as Brighton are in possession.
Says, with a smile on his face.
10 yards inside, we've all got a team. Matoma slides it down the line. Chance to cross left-footed and runs out of play.
Oh, wow.
and that pretty much sums up the first half as De Kuyper tried to cross with his left foot, but I think he's done that thing where you kick it with your right just before and it goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it could be. It was very strange because it was set nicely, wasn't it, for his left foot, and he has got good delivery. Just thinking, what are you waiting for? Ball just run over the line.
Walsall have got one back at Chesterfield. It's Chesterfield 2, Walsall 1. And you are up to date on 5 Sports Extra from the BBC with the scores elsewhere, and we wait to see how long the agony of the first half is going to be prolonged. How much added time we've got at the end of the first half. The assistants there with the board, and Van Hecke's gone down injured, and it's a free kick he's not injured, he's just gone down under a challenge, and it's a free kick to Brighton, 5 yards inside their own half on the left hand side as David Moyes walks back towards the bench.
Good competitor, Paul Van Hecke. I like him. He's determined character, feisty.
Commentators curse. He's just
kicked the ball out of play.
He's just kicked the ball out of play.
No pressure at all.
1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Thank goodness.
Tino Barry will receive an education in physicality today from Duncan Van Hecke in particular. You play two experienced players like that, you feel as if you're being pulled and balked and pushed at almost every turn. It's a great learning curve on the way to hopefully being a much better striker than he is now.
I'd say the centre-backs have dominated the game so far, which is never... you don't really want to see the centre-backs dominating, but they have for both teams as Van Hecke puts another ball out of play, and it is a throw-in to Everton with 30 seconds left in the first half, and someone from the crowd stands up and does a volleyball-style dig over the Brighton bench and the multi-ball system, and it will be left by Branthwaite for O'Brien. He might well try a long throw here at the end of the first half, and Chris Cavan has spotted some pushing and shoving and has asked him to wait.
Well, they've threatened, haven't they, Brighton, without being dangerous throughout this opening 45 or so minutes. That's all, and Everton just haven't threatened.
Long throw from Everton right at the end of the half, flicks off ahead, that'll be it. Half time, 0-0. And a little chance for Mitoma, left-footed. Pickford made himself big, dinked it wide.
Welbeck header.
The Welbeck header.
Yeah, good chance.
A shot from Ruter, which sliced wide for Brighton. They've had the best of the chances. Effen Okoku.
Mitoma as well with that little, was passed through. Lovely 1-2 with Danny Welbeck. It's been tepid first half. As I said, the home side has threatened, on occasion looked dangerous. Thought maybe they were building up a head of steam. It's not materialised, and Everton, you always feel away from home, but quite happy to contain, counter-attack. If they concede first, and then they will force themselves a little bit, but they seem to be happy to take a point on their travels. And Brighton, with one or two substitutions perhaps, may be able to force the game open.
Well, the half-time whistle was kind of met with a murmur of nothing, really. So we'll come back for second half commentary, and it's got to be better than the first half, surely, as Gillingham get one back against Bromley. Gillingham 1, Bromley 3. Mark Chapman will take you through the half times. We've also got the live game between Leeds and Arsenal as well on 5 Live. See you in the second half.
Arsenal 2.
Did you do Gillingham pulling one back?
I did indeed. We are
right.
up to date.
We're up to date. Excellent. We're up to date with everything then. Oh no, Accrington Stanley have just got a second at home to Cheltenham in League 2. Donald Love has got that. Accrington Stanley 2, Cheltenham 0. Back to the Premier League. Julia Bold.
Yeah, half-time, Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1, but it was Wolves who had the ball in the back of the net first. Hwang Hee-chan sent it into Matthias Mane, but Rodrigo Gomez was offside in the build-up and it was ruled out. From then on, it looked like Wolves could go in front. Mane just outside the D, his shot caught by Petrovic. Also, again, he whipped the ball just off centre, and that was again caught by the visiting keeper. But on 33 minutes, it was a goal for Bournemouth. Good play by Alex Scott, who sent the ball into Amin Adli. His quick pass to Junior Krupi, centre of the box, hit it really quickly with his right foot, and it flew over Jose Sarr, who stretched in an attempt to get it. Bournemouth have looked solid since. It's Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1.
John Southall.
As advertised, Brighton 0, Everton 0. I've seen worse this season. Actually, I've seen worse here this season. It's had its moments, not many of them. Brighton have been the better side. They should be leading, actually. Gross had a shot deflected wide. Welbeck back heel was saved. He also headed wide from 5 yards. But the one good chance, Mitoma on the left of the area, clipped his shot wide. That was the best chance. Should have scored it. Everton have offered very little going forward. An XG of 0. Yet to have a shot. Brighton 0, Everton 0.
Earlier on in the Championship, Charlton won 2-0 at Leicester. Leicester had a man sent off after 15 minutes and they missed a penalty as well. Wrexham won 1-0 at bottom of the table, Sheffield Wednesday, to go back into the playoffs. And Southampton won 2-0 at Stoke. As far as the 3 o'clock games are concerned, they're still playing at Loftus Road, Emily.
Well, great timing. They've just blown for the half-time whistle and it is goalless at the break, but QPR really should be ahead. Richard Kone searching for his 7th of the season. He hit the side netting early on and then a chip forced onto the crossbar from an outreach Rushworth in goal with his second effort. Coventry under pressure, just a point clear at the top as it stands, and haven't created much to shout about either. Half-time, QPR 0, Coventry 0.
Yeah, point clear as it stands because Chris Coles.
Because Middlesbrough are 1-up at home to Norwich, a mostly assured Middlesbrough half, interspersed with sporadic Norwich threat. The goal was a beauty from the right foot of Borough captain Hayden Hackney. Too much space on the edge of the box. He killed a cracker into the top corner. Norwich a little too hesitant when chances have come their way, although they have forced a couple of good saves from keeper Sol Bryn, pushing away 2 Jovan Makama efforts. Middlesbrough 1, Norwich 0.
Let's go to Portman Road next. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, Ipswich 0, Preston 0. Preston, they're cancelling out Ipswich. Half chances for the home side through Clark and Azon. The best chance has fallen to the visitors. Daniel Jefferson, the Preston forward, he was played through. He ran from the halfway line into the penalty area, one-on-one with the Ipswich goalkeeper. He then dinked it wide. Half-time, Ipswich 0, Preston 0.
Let's go to the Den next, where they're still playing, but at least there's been goals. Becky Ives.
There certainly has. It's Millwall 1, Sheffield United 1. It was a first half that's been pretty end-to-end, but it's definitely going to be overshadowed by a very serious looking injury to Sam McCallum of Sheffield United, the left back. He went down off the ball a little earlier, then under a challenge from Femi Aziz he ended up having to be stretchered off with oxygen, the work. So wishing him the best. Still playing here, Millwall 1, Sheffield United 1.
Let's go to Ewood Park next. Blackburn against promotion chasing Hull. Betty Glover.
0-0 here. Both sides grew into this one, but scrappy first half all over. Both keepers had to make saves. Blackburn, who remember are 1 point from safety in that relegation zone, had chances through Adam Adam Forshaw, and a big one from Ryan Alibioso, whose nice left-footed finish was punched away by Hull's diving keeper. Down the other end, Liam Miller and Regan Slater went close, but really Hull, who are level on points with Ipswich in third, have struggled to build any sort of momentum going forward. They're targeting their 4th win on the bounce, but they're yet to have a breakthrough. Blackburn 0, Hull City 0.
Half-time at the Kassam, and it's Oxford who are next to bottom 0, Birmingham 1, and it's an own goal that's put Birmingham ahead there. Miles Peart-Harris midway through the first half. It's also Portsmouth 2, West Brom 0 in a big game at the bottom. That would take Portsmouth above West Brom, and it's goalless between Watford and Swansea. We get details of that game at Vicarage Road from Nikesh Ragani.
Yeah, Watford 0, Swansea 0. Swansea starting this game like a team possessed. They were all over Watford in the early stages, corner after corner, and a really good chance for top scorer Zan Vipotnik was deflected just wide. But Watford, after the 10-minute mark, eventually woke up. They had the better of the half. Imran Louza pulling the strings in midfield, and both Othman Mama and Mark Bowler had close-range shots, well saved. The home side just couldn't find a way through, though, and at half-time it's Watford 0, Swansea City 0.
And details of that big lead for Portsmouth at the break from Joshua Adedonka.
Portsmouth 2, West Brom 0, and have a miserable afternoon on the cards for West Brom in the Championship. Portsmouth unworth their lead at the break. The opener coming from Connor Champlin, converted from close range, his first goal for the club since 2018. Minielli on loan doubled the advantage for Pompey, a calm low finish. This is only West Brom manager Eric Ramsey's 4th league game in charge. He'll be feeling the pressure if the scoreline stays the same at the break. A big team talk needed from Eric Ramsey. Portsmouth in control at the break. Portsmouth 2, West Brom 0.
In League 1 at lunchtime, Bolton won 1-0 at AFC Wimbledon. They stay third. Bradford in 5th. Left it late to beat Doncaster by a 0-0. But the good news for those two sides is that the leaders are behind at the break. Naz Premji.
Burton Albion 1, Cardiff City 0. Jake Beasley's acrobatic bicycle kick, left-hand side, the only goal in this one so far, Mark. The leaders have had their moments. Perry and G danced into the box, went down. No penalty, said referee Martin Coy. And G then had a low drive that fizzed wide. And just before the break, Callum Chambers on the volley forced Brad Collins to tip behind. You'd think they were going to be a little bit better. I think Brian Barry Murphy may have a few words, because on the whole, Burton have deserved this. Burton Albion 1, Cardiff City 0.
They're into second half stoppage time at Sixfields, because this was a 2 o'clock kickoff, and it's Northampton 0, Reading 2. Jack Marriott with his 12th of the season, and Will Keane with the other goal for Liam Richardson's side, and that could be 4 straight defeats for Northampton when the final whistle goes. Elsewhere, these are half-times. Barnsley 2, Stevenage 1. David McGoldrick with his 9th of the season, and Davis Keeler done with his 15th of the season, gave Barnsley a 2-0 lead. Dan Kemp pulled one back for the visitors there. Exeter 0, Rotherham 1. They're next to bottom at the start of day are Rotherham. Leyton Orient 0, Port Vale 1. So bottom of the table side are winning there. They've won just one of their last 15, but they lead at Leyton Orient. Goalless between Luton and Blackpool, and Mansfield and Wickham. Peterborough 0, Huddersfield 1. Stockport 0, Plymouth 1. And second in the table, Lincoln lead by a 0-0 at Wigan, who haven't had a win in their last 5. In League 2 earlier, Bristol Rovers 3, Newport 0, and Grimsby 2, MK Dons 2. In the 3 o'clock games, the leaders have had a very good first half. Sam Ashew.
Well, they certainly have, Mark. It's Gillingham 1, Bromley 3. Gareth Ainsworth's side, though, have given themselves a chance thanks to Bradley Dack, who tapped in just before the break. The league leaders were running away with it, courtesy of 2 Ben Thompson goals. The first a fine first-time finish, the second a tap-in. He then played a perfect pass to Corey Whiteley 3 minutes before the half-hour mark, who lashed it past Glenn Morris in the Gills goal for Bromley's third. But that goal makes it very interesting indeed. Gillingham have the backing of a bumper crowd, 8,000 here at Priestfield in this South East derby. It's Gillingham 1, Bromley 3.
Goalless at Boundary Park at the break. Sonny Rajavajula.
Yeah, nothing for 45 minutes. Then finally a shot in this game for promotion chasing Cambridge. Pelly Ruddock and Panzu point blank. Big save from Matthew Hudson. Oldham have been brighter, but both sides can be better at the breaks. Oldham 0, Cambridge 0.
Elsewhere in League 2, Accrington lead Cheltenham by 2-0 at the break. Will Grigg And Dylan Markande, with his 6th of the season, gave Chesterfield a 2-0 lead at home to Walsall. The visitors pulled one back through Daniel Carney's 15th of the season just before the break. Crawley lead bottom of the table Harrogate by a 1-0. Goals between Crewe and Colchester. Notts County's top scorer Alassana Jatta has given them the lead at Fleetwood. That's 13 for the season for him. And then 1-0 up. Shrewsbury 0, Barnet 0, Swindon 1, Barrow 1 and Tranmere 0. Salford 0. In the National League, Boreham Wood 1, Boston 0, Braintree 1, Eastleigh 0, Carlisle 3, Altrincham 0. Still playing in the first half at Hartlepool, and they're goalless with Aldershot. Solihull Moors 0, York 0 and Sutton 1, Brackley 1. In the Scottish Premiership, Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 0, bottom of the table Livingston 0, Motherwell 2, and it's goalless between St Mirren and Dundee. At 8 o'clock, leaders Hearts are at Tannadice to take on Dundee United. In the Scottish Championship, the leaders St Johnstone drew 2-2 with Partick last night. This afternoon, Ayr 1, Wraith 0, Dunfermline 0, Airdrieonians 1, Morton 1, Ross County 0, and Queen's Park 2, Arbroath 1. In Scottish League 1, Alloa lead Cove Rangers by a 1-0. East Fife 1, Montrose 2, Kelty Hearts 0, Hamilton 0, Queen of the South 1, Inverness 1, and Stenhousemuir 0, Peterhead 1. And in Scottish League 2, Annan 1, Clyde 0, Dumbarton 1, Edinburgh 1, East Kilbride 2, Forfar 0, Elgin 2, Spartans 1, and Stirling 1, Stranraer 0. The final whistle has gone at Northampton, and they have been beaten by 2-0 by Reading. And in the United Rugby Championship, earlier finished Lions 17, Bulls 52, and at half-time, Sharks 14, Stormers 17, Zebra 3, Connacht 0. You're up to date with all the afternoon's football and rugby union. Couple of, in fact, 1 minute to 4 o'clock. Stuart Clarkson has the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Pictures appearing to show Andrew Mountbatten Windsor crouched over an unidentified woman are featured in the latest disclosure of Epstein files. The images are among more than 3 million documents published by the Trump administration. It's not known where they were taken. The former prince has been asked for comment but hasn't responded. He has previously denied any wrongdoing. The Hamas-run civil defence agency in Gaza says renewed Israeli airstrikes have killed nearly 30 people. Israel says it struck targets linked to Hamas and Islamic Jihad, accusing the groups of breaching the ceasefire. Sir Keir Starmer says his Japanese counterpart, Tsunai Takaichi, have agreed on the need to respond with strength and clarity to increasing instability in the world. During a brief visit to Tokyo, Sir Keir said the relationship between the countries was the strongest it's been in decades. And Labour has announced its candidate for the Gorton and Denton by-election this afternoon. It's Manchester City councillor Angeliki Stogia. You can see a list of all the other declared candidates on the BBC News website.
Skis cutting through snow at breathtaking speed. Snowboards spinning in ways never seen before. Skeleton sleds pushing the limits. Making history, breaking records, and taking home gold. Trails will blaze. The Winter Olympics starts next Friday. Watch on iPlayer. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
I said they were still playing in the National League at Hartlepool, and in fact, Aldershot, who are fighting relegation towards the bottom, have scored in the 13th minute of first half stoppage time. So it's Hartlepool 0, Aldershot 1, and the half-time whistle has just gone there. In the tennis, earlier, Elena Rybakina is the new Australian Open champion. She beat the world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka in 3 sets to claim her second Grand Slam title.
It's an incredible achievement, super happy and proud, and it was a really tough battle, and I didn't expect to turn it around, got some opportunities, and Aryna is a very tough opponent, but I'm super happy that this time I'm holding the trophy. The last time I was close, but Aryna played really well that match. I remember that she stepped in. She went for her shots. She was soaring really well, and I think she was even risking a little bit because the second serve was going almost as first. So I knew even today, if I get a chance to lead, that I will need to try also kind of some risky shots and just go for it, not definitely wait for any mistakes or even get to the long rallies. So yeah, it's great, and again, it's amazing to hold this trophy this time.
Elena Rybakina there. The men's final, Alcaraz against Djokovic from 8:30 tomorrow morning here on 5 Live. Let's go back to Ellen Road, where Paul Robertson.
Yeah, welcome back to the Amex Stadium, where it is very 0-0 at half-time between Brighton and Hove Albion and Everton. My name is John Akers, and I'm alongside Efan Okoku for this one. And, well, Efan, we need to see more, I think, in the attacking third from both teams second half. I'm just looking to see whether they've been tempted to bring on Brighton Yakuba Minte, but they haven't as yet, but I don't think it'll be long.
I certainly hope not, John. Yeah, as I said, he's been fantastic when he's played those little cameo roles in recent weeks, so he's a guy who could certainly ignite some fireworks into this game. It's been dull, hasn't it? It has to be said. Neither side has really looked fluid at all. Brighton more dangerous, so Everton just happy to contain and hopefully steal something on the counter.
So Everton get us underway and play a long ball forward towards Barry, and it's vastly overhit, and it's behind for a Brighton goal kick, and they will play a long crossfield ball, and it's horribly overhit, and it's just been smashed into the dugouts by Verbruggen, and we've had a scrappy, low quality start to the second half. It's only up. We can only go up from here in terms of quality in the game. O'Brien with a throw for Everton. Down the line it goes. I'll keep you up to date with what's going on elsewhere through the afternoon. Here on 5 Sports Extra from the BBC as Dunk wins a header up in the air. Head tennis at the moment. Brighton at the back, under a bit of pressure. And a foul. It was clumsy, really, because he was going absolutely nowhere there. De Kuyper, and it's a free kick for Brighton, which Dunk thinks about taking long, quickly, early. But he's going to take his time. Level with the 18-yard box in the left-back spot. Long kick, ducks, goes all the way through to the goalkeeper, Pickford. It's one of those games at the moment you just can't see it being anything else other than 0-0 until you see a little bit of quality, like we did see a couple of times in the first half. As that's a poor touch, and that's a poor pass, and it's all poor effing, really, isn't it?
I remain hopeful.
Yeah, I do, but the
You're
start
right,
to the second half has just been...
It doesn't augur well, does it?
No.
Right, yeah.
Van Hecker up in the air.
All the quality, has to be said, came from Brighton in that first half. Yeah, that opening 20 or so minutes, a couple of chances they had, Welbeck and Mitoma in particular. And we always pray for that, don't we, as commentators, that we'll get that early goal just to break the game open. And over the course of time, the side who are behind more often than not starts to take a few more chances. Does have a couple of decent options on the bench, though. Doesn't he? Fabian Herzl and Minter in particular. Sharon Lompus, Kostulis, who scored a great overhead kick against Bournemouth a few weeks back. Dwight McNeil for also Everton, better and more experienced striker than Tiano Barry.
Yeah, I was about to say, we've got McNeil on the bench. It's hooked clear by Michael Keane by Everton and picked up by Brighton, and that's a nice ball. And down the right hand side, Kadioglu has it taken off him by Ndiaye. Ndiaye goes back to Pickford, who launches long, and a header is won by Van Hecker and chested down and hoofed in the air. That's a big old hoof by Paliba. It's got snow on it, that. Michael Keane wins the header underneath it, and it's head tennis and dropping and bouncing and challenge for it in midfield and a shout of handball, and Everton have got possession 15 yards inside their own half on the left hand side, and now it's with Dewsbury Hall trying to play the ball out, but good pressing from Brighton all the way across to Tarkowski. He's played a long ball forward, headed up in the air. And picked up by Mitoma, shows too much of it, but Brighton still have possession in the centre of the pitch with Ayari. And now Van Hecker. And they're in possession on the far side with Rute. He showed some quality in the first half, and he's kept the ball well there. Mitoma into the feet of Welbeck, and now they've got Gross here on the corner of the penalty area left-hand side. They've got an overlapping player, and in goes the low cross, and it's cleared away by Tarkowski. And it's out for a throw 15 yards inside the Everton half on the left, 0-0.
Actually did well on this near side, didn't he? Maxime de Kuiper to overlap Pascal Gross, got the ball, which I didn't think was ever on. Decent cutback, but well cleared from by James Tarkowski, and once again right in the heart of that Everton defence.
Huddersfield have gone 2-0 up at Peterborough, and Cardiff have equalised at Burton. It's 1-1, and Portsmouth are now 3-0 up against West Bromwich Albion in the Championship. And you're up to date with the goals as they go in elsewhere, and Verbruggen's just standing on the ball at the moment on the edge of his own D, and he plants a long ball forward, looks overhit. Gross though, can he bring it down? Almost did. And Everton do some defending, comes off the legs of the Brighton player, and it's an Everton throw in their right back position, and it's 0-0.
Well, we talked about the prowess, haven't we, of Jordan Pickford kicking from distance, but that long ball from Bart Verbruggen was special, right down the middle. Pascal Gross got the first touch to it, but he was covered all the way by James Garner, already inside the Everton box. Good defending to track him.
Since the start of December, only the two bottom sides, Burnley and Wolves, have earned fewer points in the Premier League than Brighton. You've got 8. They've just 1 win in 10 league games, 5 draws in there, and 4 defeats. And there are some fans who have been a bit restless of late. You can hear a little bit of it around you.
Yeah, frustration. But they sit 12th in the table before they start to play today, and the Toffees up in 10th, only 3 points between them. But there's lots of clubs in there who are thinking about or dreaming of European qualification, but in truth, I mean, you could put about 6 or 7 in that bracket outside of the top 6 right now. And they would need 1 or 2 to fall off above them, because none of those sides between about 7th and about 15th have got the real quality or consistency. So I think to really believe that they can do it.
Tarkowski with possession, puts the ball out to the left, header 1, nice little flick, good football this, too firm into the feet of Barry, but he might get another go. And here's Dewsbury Hall, good little feint, left-footed shot, and wide from Dewsbury Hall. A moment of quality at last, and it's a goal kick for Brighton, but a good piece of play from Keenan Dewsbury Hall, and a nice little ball from Tieno Barry as well.
Yeah, lovely move, by far their best of the game so far. Everton, the away side, lost the count really of the number of touches. Tieno Barry involved a couple of times with some nice layoffs. Yeah, with his back to goal, just flicking it to the right twice, and Dewsbury Hall got it onto a stronger left foot. Good power behind it actually, and it's wide of Verbruggen from left to right across the goalkeeper's face, but wide of the post.
Branthwaite keeps it in, nice play from him, and here's Barry, and on the overlap now is Njai into the penalty area. He's got some help there as well, but the ball's not directed back the best, and Dewsbury Hall is scrapping for it in the penalty area. And can it fall for Armstrong here? He's got good pace and he's fouled. He's done well there, Armstrong, and it is a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for Pascal Gross, who is 34 years there. He just got beaten to the ball by the younger man.
Yeah, it's poor defending really, wasn't it, John? Because as Armstrong is going towards the touchline, there's no need to dive in. Pascal Gross, he's 10 yards outside, or close to 10 outside the box. That was a tackle of frustration and annoyance, and so often that kind of reckless behaviour gets your team punished. This is a great position, isn't it? Dewsbury Hall to swing it in from right to left with that left foot of his towards the far post, you'd imagine.
It's level with the penalty spot on the right hand side, and it's midway between the edge of the penalty area and the touchline on the right, and it's a chance to cross, just to dink one in delicately, and Tarkowski's in there, and O'Brien and Garner and Keane, and they're all standing on the edge of the 6-yard box at the moment. And Dewsbury Hall's put his right arm in the air and up he steps, left-footed, swings it to the far post now. It's over everyone. And it's
Poor
a
delivery.
goal kick.
Poor delivery. Well, if you overhit that, and it's extremely difficult for your teammates to get it, at least try and get it on the goal. Force the goalkeeper to think about tipping it over. Yeah, it's too much pace. Whipping it around, he ends up landing on that 6-yard line just about, but almost out of touch on the full.
It was Branthwaite the nearest to it, and he's just smiled at Dewsbury Hall as they've had a bit of banter between them.
And he's a big boy, isn't he, Jared
He is.
Branthwaite? If he gets over him by a good foot or so, you know, it's been a poor delivery.
O'Brien wins a cushioned header, and he did have a bit of his shirt there. De Kuiper, and it's going to be a free kick to Everton, midway inside their own half. Here comes another stat. Only Sunderland's Premier League games have had fewer goals than Everton's this season. 50. There's been 51 goals in Everton's games, 25 for, 26 against, and they're in possession now with Dewsbury Hall, and now O'Brien, 2 in the middle to aim for, but cuts it back to Dewsbury Hall. Now there's 4 in the box for Everton, but a bit of the momentum's gone, and Garner is challenged, and I thought that was a Brighton throw or a foul, but not an Everton throw, but the assistant's closer than me, and it's going to be a throw-in to Everton, and O'Brien's going to think about flinging one in long. 25 goals scored, Everton, which is the lowest of any team currently in the top half of the table. And elsewhere, Swansea have taken the lead at Watford in the Championship. Coventry are 1-0 up against QPR as well, at QPR, as we await this O'Brien long throw. We've had 10 minutes of the second half, feels like longer. O'Brien's throw, in it comes to the near post. It's headed down by Brighton, picked up by an Everton player, and O'Brien's got the chance to cross again. Good looking delivery and a flashing header across goal from Branthwaite, who's feeling the bottom of his back there as he headed it. It was about 2 feet wide of Verbruggen's right-hand post.
Yeah, it was on the angle of that 6-yard box, Jared Branthwaite. Don't really think he's thinking about goal, just wanted to help it on into a more dangerous area. Nice run after the ball was played in. Decent delivery actually from Harrison Armstrong, I think it was. Yeah, but then Tarkowski is just on his heels a little bit, unable to get across the face of defenders, and toe poke it in the far side.
Meanwhile, a Brighton player is down on the deck, injured, and we're going to see another booking in the game. It's Ayari who's down injured, and he'll need some assistance here, and it was a bit of a rash challenge, it's got to be said, from Branthwaite, who kind of tried to pull out of it, committed to a sliding challenge and caught a little bit of the Brighton man. I think he realised he wasn't going to get there, tried to pull out, but it was kind of too late, and he connected with him with his knee.
We'd expect him to be a little bit quite rusty actually, Jared Branthwaite, for a couple of games, get himself back up to full fitness.
I'm looking to the benches, Efford, more in hope than anything that they change it. Got a few of the substitutes warming up.
Got Dwight McNeil, I think, certainly for everyone. Are you talking about the Brighton subs to start with?
Just anyone. I'd just be good to see anyone come on and in an attacking sense.
Well, McNeil has got a nice crafty left foot.
Yep.
I imagine he's an option for David Moyes if he wants to go for the victory. A little bit later on in the game, he'll have 2 left footers alongside Dewsbury Hall. Armstrong perhaps could be sacrificed, and then McNeil could operate from that right side, looking to cut in. Good shooter of the football, putting some nice crosses as well, but Everton are short on attacking options. Alcaraz is an option, of course, in the middle of the park. He's good for the odd goal. When it's unexpected, he's not a regular goal scorer from the middle of the park. But as a home coach, you would expect him to be thinking about the change first. Fabian Hurtler, that is. And I was saying to you as we broke for half time, it's Minte time, and right on cue. I must be honest, I didn't see that. I've never saw him taking his top off. We're just seeing the pictures on our screen, and down below we can see that number 11 is ready for action.
Yeah, Minter stripped and ready to go, and the game needs something like a Yakuba Mintet He's still off getting some treatment, Ayari, at the moment. I think it's his shoulder, you know. I think when he sort of did the tumble, it was knee on knee, the impact. He's not felt his knee, but he has been feeling his left shoulder. So I think he's going to be okay to come back on. He might be the one who makes way for Minte, you don't know, but he's still off the pitch. Challenge midway inside the Everton half, and it's an Everton throw-in on the right-hand side as their fans try and get behind them. The Everton travelling fans away to my right, most of them standing. Get down to Goodison Park. Here comes the change then for Brighton, and it's Ruter who's coming off.
He's not impressed, isn't he, Ruter? But I have to say, I mean, I'm a fan of his some of the work. I thought he was quite poor in the first half. Far too many cheap giveaways.
Ruter with 59 minutes on the clock, and on comes Yankuba Minte. Brighton 0, Everton 0, 5 Sports Extra from the BBC, live on BBC Sounds. Bromley have scored a 4th at Gillingham. Gillingham 1, Bromley 4, and Cambridge have taken the lead at Oldham. And just a reminder that Arsenal are 2-0 up against Leeds United at Ellen Road, and that game is over on 5 Live as the ball's cushioned poorly by Kadioglu, and Njai picks it up. And now they've got it on the right here, and an overlapping run from Gay, who puts in a low cross, and it squirms off the studs of a Brighton defender and is cleared away for a throw-in on the right-hand side for Everton, and across goes O'Brien to take the long throw.
Yeah, it was just overplayed actually from Harrison Armstrong inside the box already. Just Gay coming on the angle, round on the overlap, struggled to keep it actually inside the box. The cutback wasn't bad, but away from Ilman and Jai, Pascal Gross to the rescue.
Long throw into the near post, headed up in the air. Maybe a chance here for Everton, but Brighton have done really well. Comes back to Garner. Garner takes it down the outside, and a little drag back, and I don't know what he was thinking there, and it's gone straight out of play. He would have been better off keeping possession there. He tried something, Garner, and it's a goal kick for Brighton. And Bournemouth, a reminder, are 1-0 up at Wolves. It was Junior Krupi with the goal there.
Good return from Krupi. That must be about 8 league goals, I think.
He's done very well, hasn't he? Since Semenyo's left as well, they needed him to step up, and he has.
He was doing well beforehand, wasn't he? Quite a few sub appearances, but that's a good return for a young kid.
The recruitment's been excellent at Bournemouth.
Just about to bring in a Brazilian striker. I've forgotten his name, forgive me.
Brighton are in possession with Minte, corner of the penalty area. A first touch of the game for him. He's twisting and turning. He's got 2 players around him, 2 Everton players around him. He's still going here, Minte, on the edge of the area. Might fancy a shot. Puts in a cross-come shot, which deflects off an Everton head. But Matoma's got it. Corner of the penalty area now on the left, and into the penalty area. Brilliant from Matoma. Comes off the legs of the defender, and it's out for a corner for Brighton. And there you see what Minter's done. He's just given them that lift immediately.
2 players already have to double up. Branthwaite has said already back in his first start of the season he won't fancy the task of guarding Minte for the rest of this match. All of a sudden the crowd are up.
Chesterfield 2, Walsall 2 in League 2. Corner for Brighton on the left hand side. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger, right arm in the air. In it comes, swung to the far post and headed by Keane, and Pickford's gone down again and earned his second free kick of the game from a corner, and it will be a free kick to Everton inside their own 6-yard box.
Well, my first thought was that Jordan Pickford played for that. I don't think it was a ball that he should actually have been coming for. Yeah, it's all Van Hecker again with a little tug on.
He's like a puppy, isn't he, Van Hecker?
Yeah, just can't help himself.
I think Rayan is the striker, the Brazilian, isn't he?
That's the one,
Bournemouth.
yeah. From Vasco, is it? Look on, is it Vasco da Gama?
The ball's behind for a corner.
They usually get them right, don't they, Bournemouth? They have done in recent years.
Yeah, they have, certainly have.
Spending very well.
It's a corner on the far side for Everton here in front of their own supporters, which Garner is going to come across to take. Yes, Vasco.
That's right, yeah. How much was that? Sorry, John.
I don't know.
We're away from this game, but I don't think you mind too much. Are you talking about something else?
Well, I've got Bournemouth next week, so it's useful.
Yeah, nice to be up to speed.
A chat about them. That's our game next Saturday on 5 Sports Extra from the BBC, as it's a corner, right-footed. Garner swings it in. Good-looking delivery. Good header from Brighton at the near post, and it's cleared away by Brighton up towards halfway, and across comes Armstrong, who wins a towering header. Bournemouth, Brighton, see what you've done. Brighton win possession. Is that a foul from O'Brien? No, says the referee Chris Kavanagh, who's right on top of it in his lilac referee's top. And here's Dewsbury Hall, who's had a good moment. He put the shot wide for Everton. It's their best chance of the game. Dewsbury Hall kind of made it all himself. They have missed him in there. He was in some fine form before he got that hamstring injury in mid-December. And he'll get better with matches, as he'll be a little rusty. And as Pickford's got the ball inside the D, and we've had 19 minutes of the second half, 64 on the clock. Brighton 0, Everton 0. Cambridge are now 2-0 up at Oldham. Close to 25 million, apparently, for the fee that we were talking about earlier on, Effin.
Modest amount, isn't it, if he proves to be a smart signing?
Yeah. Everton in possession on the halfway line. Cardiff have taken the lead at Burton Albion. They were 1-0 down, and now they're 2-1 up, as Armstrong tries to play a ball forward, and it's intercepted, and Belieber's in possession, having a shirt pull, free kick.
Tactical foul from Harrison Armstrong. She did the right thing, stopping a breakaway.
And didn't get booked for it, just a little tug back on the shirt. Accrington 3-0 up at home to Cheltenham, and Birmingham are 2-0 up now at Oxford United, and Salford have taken the lead at Tranmere. And still 0-0 here, and 2-0 to Arsenal at Elland Road, and 1-0 to Bournemouth at Wolves. So no goals in the second half of any of the Premier League games so far, and none of the home sides winning. Can Brighton find something here as they slide a ball forward, and a foul and a free kick, and Everton have possession deep in their own half. Huddersfield were 2-0 up at Peterborough. It's now Peterborough 1, Huddersfield 2. Tierno Barry hasn't had a sighter yet, has he? But since December the 6th, when he scored his first Premier League goal after going those 16 games without one, he's got 5 goals from just 10 shots in the Premier League. It's the best conversion rate of any player with more than 5 shots in that time. And here he is, Barry, right on cue. Byline, should be, good save. It was Dewsbury Hall who really should have scored. Verbruggen saved with his legs, and it's cleared away, but that's the best chance of the game. Effin Okoku.
Glorious chance. Just speaking about how Barry has been kept away from goal, having to do lots of work way outside that Brighton penalty area. Cheap giveaway. The ball, I can't remember, see who played it back to him, was almost looking elsewhere, and Barry was away inside the Everton box, got close to the actual goal line, cut it back for Keenan Dewsbury Hall on the right side of Bart Verbruggen, on his right foot. Unfortunately, that's what didn't allow him really to hit it with enough conviction. Placement wasn't good enough. Verbruggen saved well with his legs.
Dewsbury Hall really should have scored. And here's Armstrong in possession, right hand side. He's near the Brighton byline, but he's forced back.
That's where they struggle, Everton, as they get into the final third, and
that's where they miss Grealish.
They just don't have the quality to attack anybody one-on-one. Iliman Ndiaye is the exception.
It's where they perhaps could improve things with a Dwight McNeil. We're going to see another change in just a second for Brighton, as Gay runs forward fully 30 yards from right to left across the pitch diagonally, and finds Dewsbury Hall. He swings the ball out to the right hand side to Garner. Garner with O'Brien on a half-hearted overlap. Finds him. O'Brien, little Ball with the outside of his foot in towards Njai. They try a little 1-2. Njai's come up with the ball here. Tries a little reverse pass to Dewsbury Hall. Might still have it. Hoofed away, Peter Kay style, by Lewis Dunk. And high, and flies out of touch. And it's a throw-in for Everton midway inside the Brighton half on the right-hand side. 68 minutes gone. Brighton 0, Everton 0.
Yeah, and Brighton are making 2 substitutions. And David Moyes, who I think is too often guilty of not being adventurous enough when you should be able to see that your side is, even if not on top of the game, but has 1 or 2 opportunities. Just seeing on the replay the cut back again. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good save from Bart Verbruggen. But you would expect, even on your weaker foot, to be able to slide that wide of the goalkeeper. Yeah, with his right foot, not able to get the direction required.
I think if he lifts it at all, he probably scores, doesn't he? But it only gets 6 inches off the ground. He connects well with his, as you say, with his weaker foot.
Yeah, it's hard to get the lift because the ball is actually on the ground. And you're coming in. Side foot is the right option. You just have to open your ankle a little bit more on your left. Of course, your balance on your right would have been a little bit easier for him.
Joel Veltman is on, and Danny Welbeck has gone off. Meanwhile, we've got an Everton throw-in, which they're preparing to take long with O'Brien. It's about 25 yards from the right-hand corner flag. This throw-in for O'Brien. He takes it, and there's a player gone down. Mitoma in the penalty area. And is he asking him to take it again? I think he's asking him to take it again because there's some pushing and shoving just before the throw was taken off the ball. So we're going to have the throw in again. It took 90 seconds for them to take the first one, and now we've got another one. O'Brien long throw. 20 minutes plus added time to go. Brighton 0, Everton 0. Stockport have equalised against Plymouth Argyle. It's 1-1, and in comes the long throw, flicked on at the near post. Can it end up with an Everton player on the end of it? It's just taken a flick off a Brighton player, and it's going to be a corner for Everton on the far side. That was a big throw, and a good flick on.
Huge, yep.
And it's going to be a corner on the far side, which Garner's going to come across to take in front of those Everton fans. And Victor Gyökeres has scored for Arsenal. They lead 3-0 at Leeds. And as I said, Stockport 1, Plymouth 1, and QPR have equalised through Richard Kone at home to Coventry City. It's 1-1. Crawley are 2-0 up against Harrogate, and in comes this corner from the left. It's a good-looking delivery, and it's just bounced somewhere near the line. I think Verbruggen got a hand to it again. I think the first contact was won maybe by Tarkowski, and now Brighton will try and break on the right-hand side with a long ball from Kostoulis, the substitute. And now Mitoma running through the middle, and now he's a chance maybe, and Mitoma again, and it was Mintu who was in there, and he just cushioned it into the path of Mitoma, and he was challenged to Brighton get the ball on the lip of the centre circle after a clearance from Everton. 0-0. Gross left-hand side. Now they'll slow it down again, and Kadioglu inside to Belibo, who's got a little bit of room midway inside the Everton half, left-footed. He chips the ball to the far side, and Jai read it, volleyed away, but only as far as Van Hecke. They've got the ball midway inside the Everton half centre field. Kostoulis. And now the ball's gone out for a throw-in. 2, they don't know, the officials here.
Yeah, exactly. They were both looking at each other, weren't they?
Gross got a chance to cross left-footed. It's a solidly hit ball to the edge of the D. It couldn't be collected by De Kuyper. And here's Van Hecke. They've got some territory here at the moment. Have Brighton. They're in possession still, but still we haven't seen a good delivery into the penalty area.
Well, I don't see every Brighton game, but I don't think I've seen them so sloppy in their passing for a long, long time. Always such a well-drilled outfit, nice and precise, even when it's intricate, close to opposing boxes.
Now they've got a chance. It's Gross who scores, and Brighton lead in the Amex, and he's back. Pascal Gross, his first Premier League goal since his return from Dortmund. He runs to the crowd, and they bring him to them. And finally we have a breakthrough. Brighton 1, Everton 0.
Well, the passing was good enough there, that's for sure. Lovely team play, unselfish from the substitute Costello Charalampos, who lets the ball run across his body. It's cut back on the edge of the box. I think Yasin Ayari right on the penalty spot. Pascal Gross sweeps the ball past Jordan Pickford. Goalkeeper's got no chance with that. Yeah, he doesn't even make an attempt to dive. It's past him before he can even adjust his feet properly. England goalkeeper's got no chance. Yeah, just seen the replay again.
Great step over.
Yeah, and lovely sweep finish or swept finish from Pascal Gross. There's composure for you. Don't smash at the football, knowing that Pickford is slightly wrong-footed. Super goal.
Really good finish, and he loved that, Pascal Gross.
And they've been stung into action, haven't they, John? Because Everton have looked more dangerous in the last 10 minutes. A couple of set pieces, throw-ins, corners, ball scrambling across the face of their own 6-yard box. They weren't punished. You have to say, over the course of the game so far, they probably deserve to be ahead just on chances created.
No VAR check. 1-0 Brighton. 16 minutes plus added time for Everton to find something here. Now I think they will be getting Dwight McNeil to warm up, and maybe Beto as well.
It's missed a trick, David Moyes said 10 minutes ago, when all of a sudden you're starting to look good in the game. You've got to try and take advantage, be the positive, be the braver coach. Historically he's not like that. Now all of a sudden this team have got to fight to get back on level terms.
O'Brien inside, we've got a goal. I think the last 15 minutes will be better than the previous 75 put together after that goal. It's what it needed. Good play from Kostoulis, who did the step over as well, and now Brighton running forward with renewed confidence. Gross plays a little ball to Minter in the penalty area, puts in a low cross, deflects, and does really well there, Pickford, to keep the ball in at his near post, and pats it down into the ground left-handed and gathers it and sprints towards the edge of his penalty area.
Wants a quick release, Jordan Pickford, but nothing doing. I thought that ball had actually gone out of play. The Minter instance, the ball, it hits Michael Keane's arm, but it's right by side. Oh, I thought that ball had gone out. The assistant on the far side, I don't think it was quite up to level of play.
No.
Yeah.
As it is, it's a free kick for Brighton after Njai fell into the Brighton defender on the far side, and they've got a free kick 15 yards inside their own half, centre field. Rotherham are 2-0 up at Exeter City now. QPR have turned it around, 1-0 down to 2-1 up. Madsen has scored for QPR, and the ball's out for an Everton throw on the far side. Branthwaite's going to take it, level with his own penalty area on the left. And Luton are 1-0 up against Blackpool in League One, and Cambridge are 3-0 up at Oldham. Salford have gone 2-0 up at Tranmere. Preston have taken the lead at Ipswich. Crawley are 2-0 up against Harrogate, and Fleetwood have equalised 1-1 against Notts County, and Crewe are a goal 2-0 up at home to Colchester, and Rotherham are now 3-0 up at Exeter City, who had been in good form, and Cheltenham have got one back at Accrington. It's Accrington 3, Cheltenham 1. Here it's 1-0 Brighton. Pascal Gross back and scoring again in the Premier League. And forward comes Balibo, who's got lots of room, and he surges through the middle. Challenged by Garner, he's now got possession. Garner and now Armstrong, 5 yards inside the Brighton half. I think he's fouled, and he is. And he wanted some options ahead of him. He's screaming at Barry there. And they've got possession in the centre circle with Dewsbury Hall, and now Armstrong again, who's dispossessed. That was a bit sloppy from Armstrong, he's frustrated. And now it's with Gross, the goal scorer for Brighton, who nudges it to Baliba, and Brighton in possession, and they'll be happy to just slow things down here and keep possession for a bit. And we've got 13 minutes plus added time left, and it's 1-0 Brighton.
Yeah, now they can be quite content with a steadier sort of a speed and passage of play. It's up to Everton to draw themselves out.
Here's Minter. Minter fancies a shot left-footed. It cannons off the legs of a defender. Kadioglu handball. He was just off balance, like you said, and it just struck the underside of his arm, and it's going to be a free kick to Everton midway inside their own half, centre field. Well, we got a goal.
I told you we'd get one. I told you we'd get a goal. And now we should get a game.
Should be a good game, shouldn't it, for this last, let's say, 17 minutes, if you get 5 minutes of added time?
Yeah, warming up. 3 subs on there. Well, 3 subs are about to come on for Everton. Timur Igbuanum, Alcaraz and young Dibbling.
No McNeil, but
no,
he has been carrying a little injury, I think, McNeil, hasn't he? So but he is named amongst the substitutes. So Alcaraz, Irabunum and Dibbling, who we haven't seen a lot of. I don't think any player in the Premier League wears his socks as low as Tyler Dibbling. You seen anyone wear them lower than that? That's extraordinary, isn't it?
Jack Grealish, no, he has shin pads, doesn't he? A little bit higher up, so that his socks higher.
He must be using those tiny little shin pads. Okay, so Dewsbury Hall, after his long injury layoff,
no surprise, yeah,
had a decent game, but probably should have scored for Everton and put them 1-0 up. It'd be a very different game if he finishes that, and he's shaking his head as he comes off, and that will be on his mind. And now he's put his hands on his head and he's thinking about that chance. You just know he is, because it was only just really before, wasn't it? 3 or 4 minutes before the goal for Brighton, which Gross scored. Armstrong's coming off.
Yeah, Everton were not quite on top, but certainly they were having their moments. And as I said, that's when the younger, more proactive coaches tend to be a little bit more aggressive with their substitutions. They can sense blood. I mean, Andorra Iraola would have made 2 changes, attacking substitutions straight away. Said, right, this is the moment to try and get ahead in the game. Let's try and really seize the opportunity.
So Njai stayed on and Barry have stayed on for Everton, who, although Barry hasn't looked a goal threat, he has been their finisher across the last 6 games.
Yeah, you wouldn't be minded to take him off right now, would him, if he's struggling physically, as he was towards the end of the game against Leeds. And then you would say, yes, you can replace him, but right now you'd be hoping that any chance that is created falls to him.
Burton have equalised against Cardiff at home. They were 2-1 down, now it's 2-2. Swindon have taken the lead at home to Barrow, and Rotherham are 4-0 up at Exeter City, and Hull have taken the lead at Blackburn in the Championship, and Swansea are 2-0 up now at Watford. And here go Brighton. Was that a foul? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, a little bit clumsy.
Bit clumsy. Running back towards his own goal there.
James Garner.
He
had to make the challenge, didn't he? Some 5 yards outside the penalty area, just on the left side. Pascal Gross is just weighing up his options. There was nothing immediately for him, and right into the back comes James Garner. That's quite clearly a foul.
Yeah, he does get his left foot to the ball, but it's with so much force, challenge from behind, it's not going to get away with that. And Notts County are 2-1 up at Fleetwood in League 2.
It's actually some 10 yards outside the box, isn't it? Just about 5 yards left of the D. Too far out perhaps for Pascal Gross to try and whip one over the wall. But Minte's got dynamite in that left foot of his.
He might try and smash one.
Yeah, I'm thinking either reverse the ball down to the left on the angle of the penalty area for Karen Matoma to attack Tyler Dibbling, as he's the lone man on the outside of the Everton wall, or just clip it just around about the penalty spot for Duncan Van Hecker.
3 in the wall, plus a draft excluder. Illiman and Njai.
No one scores goals like that anymore, do they, apart from Dominic Szoboszlai?
Szoboszlai scored one, didn't he?
In years.
Gross and Minter are over this. 30 yards out. It's going to be a cross to the far post. Dunk, free header. Chance, scuffed, offside. Goal won't count. Goal will not count from Minter. Flag went up very early for an offside against Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, shouldn't be offside.
He's looking right down the line from a free kick. Should never be offside.
Too eager.
They're going to check it? What do you think? Did the whistle go after the goal?
It's hard to say, isn't it? He's miles onside.
Well, Dunk
He is miles onside, Lewis Dunk.
Well, this could count, you know.
Yeah, Joel Veltman there with the correct. Depends on when the whistle was blown, and I must admit, I wasn't sure. I actually thought it was after the ball was in the back of the net.
What's going on there? What's the assistant done there?
Somebody was wrestled to ground right on the edge of the 6-yard box.
So it was a free kick?
Yeah, free kick. But I thought Brighton player was actually wrestled.
Well, it says the VAR check.
Offside. Lewis Dunk offside.
Veltman. No, Veltman.
Oh, Veltman offside. Unless he was holding one of the Everton. He started in an offside position, Veltman.
I didn't see him involved with the play, but perhaps when we haven't spotted an off the ball, I don't know. But it definitely wasn't Dunk.
It wasn't obvious, and it absolutely was not Lewis Dunk.
Minter with good feet. Brighton in possession. Just having a look at the freeze frame on the big screen. So there's Dunk going around the outside. Veltman standing in an offside position and interfering with play.
Yeah, he must have been blocking the last Everton defender to be able, who they thought would have had a chance to get the ball. That diagonal from Pascal Gross, I don't think he would have done, but if you stop an opposing player, I suppose, by the letter of the law, impeding.
7 minutes plus added time remaining. Brighton 1-0 up. Brighton attacking through the middle with Kostoulis, who tries to go round Keane. Keane's done really well there, kept the ball in play, and he's given it to O'Brien. O'Brien clears down the line. That hadn't gone out. Up towards Barry. Ball won by Lewis Dunk. Mitoma. Looks like Brighton are going to get another one rather than Everton responding here at the moment. And Pickford clears right-footed towards halfway, and that's a towering header won by James Tarkowski. And another one.
Couple of old school centre-halves on show today.
They're giving the ball away though. And here's Kostoulis. And now Mitoma, edge of the penalty area. Kostoulis again in the penalty area, step over. Well played, James Tarkowski, who clears away towards Barry. They can't get the ball to stick anywhere at the moment though, Everton. 84 minutes gone.
Yeah, they've shown outstanding ball retention since they got the only goal of the game so far, Brighton and Hove Albion. It's where they excel, isn't it? Where teams just start to press them a little bit. They are so confident in their passing in all areas of the field, ever since the days of De Zerbi and Graham Potter. Certainly not lost any of that confidence.
Belieber. Brighton moving forward. Mitoma on the left-hand side, now cuts in on his right foot. 25 yards from goal, still running across the penalty area. It finds Minter. Minter on his left foot hits one, but he's got underneath it, and it's high over the crossbar from the corner of the penalty area, and it's a goal kick for Everton. 5 minutes plus added time remaining. Brighton 1, Everton 0.
That was ambitious from Yankuba Minter. Just round about the angle of the penalty box, and high, wide and not so handsome.
In League 1, Stockport 2, Plymouth 1. And that's a foul, and a bit of a sloppy foul from Belieber there on Alcaraz.
Yeah, he picked up so much speed that Alcaraz actually didn't know he was there. If he just concentrated on getting the ball, he probably would have taken it. You don't want to be allowing Everton to get into position to swing that ball into the box. Big plays coming up. It's more likely the second ball that will cause more harm. So if you can't win the first one, make sure that you are alert as one of the secondary defenders to anything that's knocked down.
Patterson and Beto are about to come on for Everton. Free kick's going to be taken by Garner. Plenty of black Everton shirts forward. It's not a good free kick. It's cleared away, and Brighton might well be able to break here. Matoma's in a good position. Round the outside goes Minter, but it's good covering. Coming across there with a sliding challenge just when he was needed was Tim Irabunam, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side for Brighton. Level with the 18-yard box of Everton. 4 minutes plus added time remaining. Brighton 1, Everton 0. 5 Sports Extra from the BBC.
You're right, John. Dwight McNeil must clearly not be fit to play today, otherwise he would have been on some half an hour ago, I think.
You know, it's obviously got a problem where they don't feel it's worth risking him, but still on the bench. Because if you were ever going to use him, if he was fit enough, it would be now, for 10 minutes at the end potentially. Brighton are in possession. Player goes down. I think that was a dive. Yeah, it was a dive.
Joel Veltman.
It was Joel Veltman, and as Effin said, and Pickford picks up the ball into his hands and runs towards the edge of his penalty area, and he'll spin the ball out in front of him on the ground and then aim a long kick forward towards O'Brien, who wins the contact. Alcaraz running forward. Can he get round Dunk? It's done brilliantly well there, Lewis Dunk. And Brighton have got possession. 3 minutes plus added time remaining. Brighton 1, Everton 0. And elsewhere, Arsenal are now 4-0 up at Leeds, and Gabriel Jesus has scored there. And after being 2-0 down, Peterborough a 2-2 against Huddersfield, and we are going to see that change. And Branthwaite, who's started his first game of the season for Everton, comes off, and Patterson comes on. Yeah, and Tieno Barry is coming off. Scored in his last couple of away games, but not today. And Beto, wearing the number 9 for Everton, comes on. And they need a goal, and soon. 2 minutes plus added time remaining. Brighton 1, Everton 0. 5 Sports Extra from the BBC, live on BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website and app. Dinked ball forward from Garner into the penalty area. Tarkowski wins a good header, chested down by Keane, has it taken off him. Everton still in possession, 35 yards from goal, centre field. Patterson on the right's got a chance to cross right footed, in it comes, volley on goal. Verbruggen saves. Wasn't a bad effort that, but comfortable for Verbruggen. He just didn't get hold of it, Michael Keane.
It was good technique, wasn't it? The ball swung in from this right side, some 10 yards outside the Brighton penalty box on the angle by the sub Nathan Patterson. And he's some 12 yards out on the angle under the line of the 6-yard box. Michael Keane swung and connected with it reasonably well, but as you said, not enough pace, and also straight down into the hands of Bart Verbruggen.
Did well to keep his knee over it, didn't he? He just didn't get that clean connection that he needed on the volley.
He's got a casual way with his technique, hasn't he, Michael Keane, when he's striking a football, so that's no surprise when he connects well with shots inside the opposing area.
Mitoma jumps and wins a header unchallenged, and then I think hurts himself when he lands. First touch for Beto, trying to go round a Brighton defender, but Dunk is there again. He's had a super game. Lewis Dunk has been brilliant. 6 minutes of added time at the end of the game for Everton to find an equaliser. Irabunam in midfield, up towards Njai. Irabunam again. Alcaraz.
Not sure if Tyler Dibling has had any meaningful touches at all.
He hasn't.
Not easy for a young kid coming on, you know, big club as well.
There's a foul by Beto. It was a bit clumsy on Van Hecker. Just charged into him, and it's going to be a free kick for Brighton in the D, and they can't afford cheap fouls like that. I was impressed with him last season, though, Dibling. I was there for his first Premier League goal for Southampton.
I think he left Southampton prematurely, I must admit. I think another year in the Championship would have served him pretty well. He would have matured physically, mentally as well. He would have played a lot more games, scored a few goals, confidence levels would have been high. I can understand why Southampton felt cashing in on some 46 or 47 million was a good deal for the football club, but I don't think necessarily a good deal for him.
Bournemouth are 2-0 up at Wolves now. Alex Scott has scored a rare goal there, and Swindon are 3-1 up at home to Barrow, and Huddersfield have gone 3-2 up at Peterborough. They were 2-0 up, it was 2-2, and that's going to be a free kick. A foul on Gross on the lip of the centre circle inside the Everton half. Another cheap foul, just frustration really from Irabunam this time, and he just grabbed him round the neck, and again soft and cheap, and runs down the clock a bit more. 31,419 the attendance, but I reckon 20% of those people have left, because there's quite a lot of empty blue seats, and it is notoriously difficult to get away from the stadium by train or car. Kadioglu for Brighton. Oh, he has it taken off him by Alcaraz, who's inside his own penalty area, and knocks it back to Pickford, who's got to hurry here. Knocks it to Patterson. Patterson checks inside. Now back to Tarkowski, trying to play it out here, Everton. They've only got 4 minutes of added time remaining to try and find an equaliser.
They can afford to press pretty high up, I think, Brighton, knowing that if that long ball comes from Jordan Pickford inside his own penalty area, Beto up against Van Hecker, and Lewis Dunk is not going to win too many headers. Even if he does, it won't be clean. Baliba and the likes of Ayari should be able to get to their defenders pretty quickly, mopping up the second balls.
Patterson for Everton puts in a low ball, a sliced clearance straight up in the air from Dunk.
He knew what he was doing,
and it just balloons into the arms of Verbruggen. Back pass? I don't think so, but
you need a little bit of luck, don't you?
He got lucky there, Dunk. He sort of earned that luck through the game.
And his positioning, John, as well, was excellent, wasn't he? That he gets the angle of the ball that is going to come in pretty precise almost every time. So there's always a chance that Dunk clears so much at that near post.
Everton in possession, deep in their own half with Keane, who tries to thread a ball through towards Garner. Intercepted by Brighton. Everton have it back. Keane's going to launch one long towards Dibbling. Can he hold it up? Alcaraz has got possession, has he? Yeah, he's rode a challenge as well, Alcaraz. And now here's Patterson on the right. Big chance here for Everton. In comes the cross, flicks up a Brighton head. Needed to be low, I think, low and hard, and it was head height. It's going to be a throw in for Everton on the far side. No, Brian's now at left back, so he's going to trot across to take it. And we've got about 2 minutes of the 6 added minutes remaining. It's Brighton 1, Everton 0.
Yeah, I wonder if that's their last chance, actually, John. It was a decent cross, actually, from Patterson on the right side, a couple of yards outside the box. Whipped it in. It was only Beto, and he moved away towards the far post. The ball ended up being headed away by, guess who? Lewis Dunk, I think it was.
Long throw from O'Brien for the far side for Everton. Header flicked on by Everton. Bobbling in the box here and cleared away by Brighton. Stumped away by Brighton. There was a couple of hairy moments then. 90 seconds of added time remaining. 5 Sports Extra from the BBC. Everyone has stayed up, and Pickford on the lip of his own centre circle. On the centre circle, on the lip, inside his own half, plants it forward left-footed. Header won by Brighton and cleared up towards halfway, and Minter scraps for it. Everton have possession though, and the player goes to ground, and that's going to be a throw-in for Everton. And Irabunam feels he was fouled. Or was it Beto? Irabunam, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but he wasn't.
Right on the halfway line. Minte just got behind him, didn't wrestle him too much, allowed the ball to run out of play. James Milner about to make an appearance. This should please the Evertonians.
Every time I see him, James Milner, live in the flesh, I think, is this going to be the last time I see James Milner? But I've been saying that for about 5 years. Gross, the goal scorer, took the goal very well. Cross from the right. Can he step over from Kostoulis and swept home right-footed by Pascal Gross from about 10 yards. Pickford had no chance, right into the corner. Lovely finish, centre of the goal. Real quality.
Yeah, it's a goal almost not worthy of the game, isn't it? Or the game's not worthy of the goal scored. Lovely team move. Just as I was saying, actually, that Brighton have been pretty sloppy in their passing. They get 1 or 2 right in the final third, and the execution was spot on.
Long ball from Everton. Beto wins a header, collects it as well. Across comes the defender, knocks it back to Verbruggen. We've only got probably 30 seconds left of the 6 added, and Brighton are in possession with Belieber, who tries to knock it back to his own goalkeeper, and Beto intercepts.
Not for the first time in the second half. Carlos Belieber has been a little bit too casual with the football.
Keane, last throw of the dice, last chance this for Everton. Long raking crossfield ball towards Njai. Brighton win the header. They've got one more chance to put this back in. The 6 minutes are up. That's a great ball to the right from Alcaraz. One more chance to cross maybe. In it comes from Garner. Good delivery for once. Chance! Oh, good big save, Beto! 1-1! Would you believe it? Beto pops up with the equaliser with the last kick of the game, and Brighton bodies are sprawled on the deck. They can't believe it. The Everton fans, it's absolute limbs. Such a poor game, incredible finish. Brighton 1, Everton 1.
Haven't we seen it all before, John? It's scarcely believable, but you have to believe it. Another goal, another late show. Right at the end, as you said, added time. We've probably played a few seconds over. Brighton will be fuming, but in truth, I don't think you can play. It's a minimum of whatever it is, 7-8 minutes at the end of the game. Drilled into the far post. I think it was by James Garner. O'Brien with the right foot, swings at the ball. Verbruggen can't hold it. It's a tough one, isn't it? Just to the left of the goalkeeper. There's Beto, just inside the 6-yard box, mopping up as any good striker should be doing, and he can't miss from there. Van Hecker this time can't get to the football first. There's Beto with the left foot. It's a good strike, isn't it, from O'Brien on his right foot. Tough save to make, goalkeeper going to his right. That's a nice finish from Beto. Alert and smart enough to make it 1-1.
Brighton fans around us cannot believe it. The Brighton players can't believe it. There's a pause in the game, which usually means a VAR check. So we're going to wait and see. They're checking goal here.
I wonder what for. I wonder what they're checking. There didn't seem to be anything wrong with it at all. Yeah.
It's been checked. Check complete. Goal stands. Everton fans celebrate again. That was quite a moment. And he had to be in the right place at the right time, Beto, and used all his experience to finish left-footed from close range. And Verbruggen, who'd had a good game, it just cannons off him into the wrong area. He didn't manage to clear it away from his goal. But now it's a foul, and that should be it.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame the goalkeeper for that at all. As I said, he's moving towards his right, he's not able to get himself completely set. If so, he probably gets firmer, hands onto it and sends it wide of the post, and Beto just kept things and lapped them up nicely.
Well, I'm not sure who the boos are for in all of that. The officials, because it ran over 6 minutes. It's always a minimum of 6. Whether it's boos for Brighton, the game itself, which was poor, for the manager, difficult to know. But Brighton fans not happy.
Not too many boos, though, it has to be said.
No,
just a few from behind us, yeah.
Everton fans bouncing for a last-minute equaliser. That's what you pay your money for, to come away and get a moment like that. And they got their moment, those Everton fans who've made that very, very long trip from Merseyside. And it finishes 1-1. We thought it might be 0-0. It was 1-1 Effin. For a long time, though, it looked like it was going to be 1-0 to Brighton.
It was a much better second half, has to be said.
Not difficult, was it?
No, but, you know, from a few minutes before the opening goal of the game anyway, and then Brighton showed great composure, as they usually do when they go a goal ahead. Teams start to press them a little bit. They use the space as well. Their composure on the football is pretty good. Their passing actually improved. You could see the confidence once they went a goal ahead. But Everton never gave up. I suppose David Moyes would feel, well, you know what, we had a couple of half chances when the game was at 0-0. Most notably, Keenan Dewsbury Hall had a great chance, you know, to make it 1-0 for them to take the lead. Brighton will feel aggrieved that they've been denied the 2 extra points that they seem to have in their grasp right at the end. You have to say probably just about a draw, the fair result, but I can understand that Brighton felt like they were the better team.
Effin, lovely working with you. Safe journey home for you. We weren't expecting that late drama, but we got it as Everton celebrate in front of the away fans down in front of us here. We'll cross to 5 Live for the roundup of the day's sporting action with Mark Chapman in just a bit after it finished here. Brighton 1, Everton 1.